I have some more information on J.J. Strickland. At least I believe it to be accurate. I believe he was James J. Strickland, and he was born somewhere in Wayne County, probably between Plymouth and Ypsilanti, since that's where his mother was from, and that's where he's known to have resided in 1874, and he died in 1920. Apparently his father's name was Hugh Strickland, and I'm not quite sure. I think that what I'm ascertaining is that Hugh Strickland moved from Illinois in the mid 1860s to Pennsylvania, Carbondale, Pennsylvania, which is later where James J.J. Strickland would become a newspaper reporter for the Scranton Eagle. But that's where he resided, and I think James just happened to come to the teachers college at Michigan State Normal College, which I think was called the Normal College at that time in Ypsilanti. But that was that. And in 1877, it shows that he was going to college, a teaching college, and attending school at Kalamazoo for the past 2 years. This is in 1877. So, returned to his home in Carbondale. So, obviously, I don't think he ever lived there as a permanent resident, which would be why we don't find him in census rolls. So, he was apparently a student first at the Michigan State Normal College at Ypsilanti, and then he went to Kalamazoo. Eventually, he settled in Kalamazoo after getting married, and he manufactured the Bunnell spring bed, which was started in Carbondale, and I think he was at first an agent, but I guess they sold so well that he continued on in that trade. And at some point, it says, encouragingly from Strickland writes home very encouragingly from Kalamazoo, Michigan, to Mr. L.L. Bunnell. He is making the bed bottom business just boom. Bunnell's bed bottoms seem to take there almost without the effort of canvassing. Mr. Strickland has bought a house and considers himself comfortably fixed. So I know he was doing that. And here's the thing from 1875, June 26th, was just less than a month before Allie would die of tuberculosis, that he left home on Monday to visit old friends and schoolmates in Michigan. So he obviously left Ypsilanti sometime. I think the last mention, I did a quick glance through the Dusty Diary, and I think April was the last time she mentioned Strickland, so that probably coincides with the end of the school term. So he probably went back home. And I don't know if he went to Kalamazoo after that. Another interesting thing is that Strickland was born in 1850. So that means that he would have been 24 years old when he was communicating with and hanging out with Allie, who was, I believe, 16 at the time. So maybe that's why he was a little awkward with her. Not that back then, 24 and 16 were, I think, probably a normal age gap between spouses or potential spouses. So short of doing a genealogy on Strickland, I think this surfates all the information I was looking for. But that explains why I could not find him in the Ypsilanti census, because he was not a resident of Ypsilanti. He was just a student there. I thought I read where he was at the seminary, but the seminary in Ypsilanti was some sort of alternate high school. and not a public school. So that's that.